with Years of Years, and Miles is hanging out today with us. And it's This Day in Disney for September 24th. And the main reason I asked you to come hang out is because we are talking about somebody's birth that's very important to you and to many people.
Let me guess. Goofy?
No. It has to do with the shirt you're wearing and everything. Jim Henson was born on this day, September 24th, in Greenville, Mississippi, and raised in Leland, Mississippi in 1936. That was a while ago. So he was an American puppeteer and an animator and a cartoonist and an actor and an inventor and a filmmaker and a screenwriter. But you know this. He did a lot.
I didn't know he had that many titles, but I knew he did a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So while worldwide he's known for the Muppets and for Fraggle Rock. So he's a puppeteer, puppet creator for Sesame Street. He was also a director for The Dark Crystal and The Labyrinth. So he directed those films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark Crystal is a really good movie.
Yeah.
And there's
both.
And now there's a show on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really cool too.
Yes.
But it's like it's like a horror movie.
To you, yeah.
Yeah, it feels like a horror movie. At the start of one episode, there's a really like horror movie-esque scene at like the very beginning of one of the episodes. It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what the rating on it is, but yeah, it's
PG-13 or TV, maybe even PG.
Y14, I don't know.
PG-Y14.
Okay, so we love The Dark Crystal and The Labyrinth, and then so he began developing puppets in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when he was a freshman in college at the University of Maryland in College Park, he created Sam and Friends.
Yes, I know all about Sam and Friends.
Tell us about Sam and Friends.
Sam and Friends, basically, may I say the premise?
Sure.
The premise of Sam and Friends is there's a humanoid puppet named Sam who has escaped from the real world and all its problems and all the stuff that's going on in the world. He just has like a bunch of imaginary friends in a way.
Yeah.
That he just hangs out with and has fun with.
Oh,
that's
cool.
basically the premise. It doesn't really go into that detail in the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a variety hour kind of show, you know.
A little bit? Okay.
You know,
so
it's got like, and it's the first thing that had Kermit in it.
Yes.
The first thing Jim made had Kermit in it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He wasn't actually a frog. He was more of a lizard.
Oh, okay.
Kind of nondescript.
Nondescript
Yeah.
green creature.
He was just Kermit.
Yeah, so he actually got his degree in home economics. That's interesting. Yeah. So in 1958, he co-founded the Muppets Incorporated, which would, of course, later become the Jim Henson Company. So that was interesting as well. In 1969, that's when he joined Sesame Street, developing characters for the series.
Yes.
Yeah, so
surprisingly, Sesame Street was before the Muppet Show.
it was. He actually did the puppets, worked with others at Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Before he did the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
He also did that stint with Saturday Night Live. You've mentioned that, right?
No.
Him and his creative team created some stuff for Saturday Night Live. I don't think it took off though. Oh. So they were trying to incorporate the puppets into the sketch comedy. The writers at Saturday Night Live just couldn't gel with it. So it just didn't work out. They were used to writing for people, not puppets, and they didn't quite get the concept. And this is the, it's 75, 76, so.
Puppets are slightly funnier people.
Right. You think they would have maybe caught on to it.
Yeah.
Cool, because he did some really interesting advertisements for Wilkins coffee.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and so that was the first time like that comedy was really a part of, advertising.
Yeah. All those commercials are on YouTube. Watch them. They're so funny.
Yeah.
It basically
They're intense.
follows this character Wilkins, and Wilkins, or I think it's Wilkins and Wilkins or something.
Watkins, I don't know.
One puppet is Wilkins, who loves Wilkins coffee,
right.
And the other is Wilkins, who doesn't like it.
Right.
Basically against it. And so Wilkins is trying to sell the coffee to Wilkins. I think it's Wilkins. I don't know. But basically tries to sell it to him. And when he doesn't buy it, basically Wilkins uses a manner of ways to blow him up or do something.
Like a cannon was one
yeah,
of the
a cannon.
Yeah.
I think he used a monster once.
Oh.
He used a variety of ways to get rid of Wilkins.
But this was an innovation. They hadn't really used comedy in commercials before.
Yeah.
So Jim Henson kind of pioneered that. I really love that.
They're great.
Yeah. So the Muppet Show was produced and started premiering in 1976. So the show we know and love. And, you have Kermit the Frog was one of the biggest characters, and then Rolf the dog, and Ernie.
Yeah.
Ernie's very big too. So some things that were set up, there's the Jim Henson Foundation, Jim Henson's Creature Shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he actually won 2 Emmys, one for his work with The Storyteller, and then the Jim Henson Hour, which, there wasn't a ton of that because of his passing, but that was cool too.
Unfortunately, it was made very close to his death.
Yeah. Yes, in May 16th, 1990, he did pass away in New York City at the age of 53 with complications related to, it's very complicated, but it was with pneumonia, but worse than that.
Yeah. Very bad pneumonia.
Yeah. And then the tributes to him, there's tons, but he did receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame after his passing a year later. So that was good. They worked on that, and it was him and Mickey that got that star, which only 3, I think it's only like Walt Disney, Jim Henson, and one other person who created a character. I can't remember. I think it's for Bugs Bunny, but anyway.
Did Mickey Mouse or Kermit the Frog?
Both Mickey Mouse and Walt are together, and then Kermit the Frog and Jim Henson.
You said Jim Henson and Mickey Mouse.
Ooh, cross-brand. All right.
Well, not exactly.
Yeah, true. He did become a Disney legend in 2011, and they had 5 children: Lisa, Cheryl, Brian, John, and Heather. So. Yeah, I didn't realize he had a big family like that.
If you want, there's this channel called Defunct Land that has a whole series on the entire life of Jim Henson.
Oh yeah.
Ever since he was making the Sam and Friends all the way to the most recent.
So it's comprehensive. Yeah. I'm also reading the biography of Jim Henson. So yeah, we'll have to cover him in the future when we're done with all our reading and everything like that again, and give you guys more information. Yeah. One of his very last projects though was Muppet Vision 3D over at Hollywood Studios, and it opened exactly a year after his passing. So, he did do the deal and, shook hands on working with Disney and everything, but then he passed away 6 months after that.
One of the things he realized near his death was that in his life he really was trying to get everything done before he died.
Yeah.
He experienced the death of his brother at a young age in an accident, and it really gave him a real understanding of death and his own life. And, like, his entire life he was trying to get everything done, you know? And he actually learned that through the legacy of Walt Disney.
Oh.
And how his company was still going after he had died.
Yeah.
And so, in a way, he and Walt Disney are very similar.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think you're right, because they both pioneered things that no one else had done before.
Yeah.
Yeah, really awesome. Too bad they couldn't have personally worked more together, but the timelines didn't just line up.
Yeah.
So there's lots of tributes to his life and his work, and we love him. Milo loves Kermit.
Yeah.
And Jim Henson, as a person, I've heard that he's just was the kindest soul. And I wanted to read a quote that he actually said. I've always tried to present a positive view on the world in my work. It's so much easier to be negative and cynical and predict doom for the world than it is to try and figure out how to make things better. We have an obligation to the latter. So I totally agree. It does take work to be positive. It does take work to see and create good things, but it's so worth it. And once you get started, it really is effortless. But he's right. We can't fall into the trap of being negative and letting the world kind of come in on us, and we're dealing with a lot of that right now, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I love people like Jim Henson and Walt Disney and all these creative people who, you know, they just didn't let the world or the things that were going on in the world. He was born in 1936. Walt Disney was born in 1904, right? Or
Yeah.
four or five. So
Yeah.
they both lived through wars and economic struggles in America. They lived through really, really hard things. But look at what they created despite all that. And so many people have. So I really love that.
Jim Henson has really inspired me.
Yeah.
In fact, right now I'm working on designing a puppet of my own.
Yeah.
I won't go into details.
That's why I had to pull you in to talk about Jim Henson.
I might, maybe in another episode, if we get to talk about Jim Henson again,
Or,
I'll
you know, the Muppets in general.
yeah, the Muppets in general, I might show you him, you know.
That'd be so fun. Okay, so real quick, next up on this day in Disney in 1937, the Hawaiian Holiday was released to the public. It stars Mickey and Minnie, Pluto, Donald Duck, Goofy, and this is directed by Ben Sharpstein. This will be the 96th Mickey Mouse film.
Wow.
So Mickey and Minnie are dancing, and he's playing the ukulele, and they're having lots of fun, right?
Yeah.
And then Pluto, Pluto gets in a fight with a crab. Yeah. You watched this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And Goofy has some trouble surfing.
Right? Like the first trouble he has, like the waves are coming in, but they don't, he's about to just go right in with a surfboard, but the waves pull back and he hits all these rocks with a surfboard, and I'm just like cringing. That kind of physical comedy stuff in real life would be very bad.
Yeah. It's like when you see a cartoon character being crushed with like a big thing.
Yeah.
And like it's
rough.
funny, but if it happened in real life, you know?
Donald does set himself on fire.
Yeah.
That's Donald for you.
Yeah.
And it's really cute though. I like the music, and I like Minnie singing, and she's got her hula skirt on. It's got that whole Hawaii feel,
Yeah.
which is great because
Yeah.
last week we got to stay at the Polynesian.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
You know, last week we got to stay at the Polynesian, which
Right.
was really nice. It had a nice vibe. I didn't want to leave.
No, it felt like being in Hawaii
Yeah.
too, right?
But I'm sure
Yeah.
Hawaii is better, you know.
Well, sure, because you get the whole ocean and
Yeah.
mountains. Maybe we'll go there someday.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Well, that's it for this day in Disney. We hope you enjoyed it, and we're so grateful that you guys came along with us. Go create something awesome and share it with the world. And
create a puppet. Make a whole new puppet show.
Yeah, and put on some Hawaiian music while you do it.
Maybe even go to Hawaii for inspiration.
Well, I don't know if anyone can go to Hawaii. I think they're kind of shut down right now.
Oh yeah.
But we'll get back to traveling soon enough.
Go to the Polynesian.
There you go. That was fun. We can do that. Alrighty, thanks for following along, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye!